the star basketballer who played 13 seasons in the NBA. Lorenzen Wright's gruesome murder shocked the fans. But what was more shocking was the murder case. A greedy ex-wife, her alleged lover, and a huge amount of insurance money are just some facts of this horrifying crime story. So, what exactly happened and how much do we know about this case? Over the years, there have been newer developments and shocking revelations in the case that took a very ugly turn. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. We'll be telling you the terrifying and sorrowful story of the Lorenzen Wright murder case. Stick by right to the end, as we will be sharing some facts related to the case that you probably don't know. This bone-chilling case involves everything from abuse to infidelity to murder and is nothing short of a Stephen King novel. In fact, there was a novel written on this by one of the prime suspects in the case. How bizarre can a case get? Most of you, especially NBA fans, are familiar with the famous player Lorenzen Wright. He was an American professional basketball player and had played over 778 games throughout his career. He was born in Mississippi and attended the University of Memphis. The homicide of the NBA star was not only tragic, but a case that puzzled the Memphis police for years. Lorenzen came from a humble family, and he was loved and respected throughout his hometown for this. According to a close friend of his, Lorenzen was a kind man and he was a giver. He never denied anyone who knocked at his door for help. He met his wife Sherra Wright at the beginning of his career. Together, they had 6 children. He was a very generous man, and after the death of his infant, he started a scholarship program in her memory. Being the amazing player he was, he earned approximately $55 million over the duration of his career. Unfortunately though, by the end of his career, he was in a lot of debt. According to Sherra, there were a lot of creditors after them for repayment, but things had started going downhill before this. Allegedly, he had cheated on his wife multiple times and he was distressed by this. Eventually, they were divorced and Lorenzen moved to Atlanta. Let's now get to the night of his disappearance. According to Sherra, Lorenzen left his home in Tennessee on 18th of July 2010 with drugs and money. The next day, there were calls made from his phone number to 911. His call had been received by the Germantown 911 dispatch center. When the operator picked up the phone, she could clearly hear 10 to 11 gunshots, but there was no verbal response of any sort. The operator immediately realized that someone was being shot. According to Lorenzen's old friend, Michael Gibson, he probably did not know till the last minute that he was in a tough and dangerous situation. He supposedly did not have any idea about the gravity of the situation. The operator tried to trace the call, but to no avail. After this, the matter was dropped. Clearly, the Memphis police should have been alerted about it, but probably the 911 operators did not consider the call urgent. On July 22nd, Lorenzen's family filed a missing person complaint. After almost a week, when the Memphis police traced the 911 call, they discovered his body in the woods in Kelly's cut-off area. Since it had been over a week since the body was out in the weeks, it had severely decayed, further delaying the investigation. Sherra, as expected, was not helpful, and she misguided the police, stating that Lorenzen left with an unknown man to sell off some drugs. The police speculated that he might have gotten involved with some local drug cartel, and probably that led to his unfortunate demise. However, as there was no evidence that connected Lorenzen with this, Sherra Wright Robinson soon spent away all the insurance money that amounted to $1 million. The amount was supposed to be for Lorenzen's children. In 2014, she agreed to sign a settlement of dispute over how she spent the insurance money. In 2015, Sherra published a book named Mr. Tell Me Anything that resembled a life she had with her ex-husband. It was about a basketball player who was involved in an unhappy marriage and was a habitual cheater. The book supposedly provided some insight into what Sherra felt and went through into their relationship. When a newspaper investigator set up a meeting with her to ask about the book she wrote, he directly asked her whether she was involved in the murder. Sherra stated that she was a mother and a wife. Moreover, she was also a minister of Lord. What was intriguing was that not even once did she care to provide the direct answer. Well, imagine if you were asked such a question. Your immediate impulsive response would be, "No way, you're not going to talk about your role in the society." That's just as weird as it is intriguing. However, this was not enough evidence to convict her of anything remotely related to the Lorenzen Wright murder case. She also claimed that over 99% of the book was based on her life story and her marriage with Lorenzen. The book graphically talks about violence and revenge. It talks about how the main character abused his wife and constantly cheated on her. Surely, Sherra seemed to have a strong motive now. The case turned cold as there was no leads or clues. Then, in November 2017, a gun that was used to shoot Lorenzen was discovered in a lake in Walnut, Mississippi. 1 month later, Billy Turner, a landscaper, was indicted on first-degree murder charges. 1 month later, on December 2017, Sherra was arrested in California in connection with Lorenzen's murder. She was once a member of the church where Billy Turner served as the church deacon. She was also a minister at the same church, Mount Olive No. 1 Missionary Baptist Church. Before we move on to the trial, if you have found the video engrossing till now, do give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more such content and press the bell icon so that you never miss an update. The trials. On July 25, 2019, Sherra pleaded guilty of being involved in the first-degree murder of Lorenzen Wright. She was sentenced to 30 years in prison following this. A 12-person jury was present to hear the case of Billy Turner's involvement in the murder. After deliberating over this for over 2 hours, the jury came to the conclusion that Billy was guilty of first-degree murder of Lorenzen Wright. The judge sentenced Billy Turner to life imprisonment. Lee Coffey, the judge, also called Lorenzen a sacred son. Though this was not enough and nothing would never be enough to give Lorenzen's well-wishers a closure, he had received some justice. It was believed that the actual mastermind behind this was Sherra, and she took the help of Turner and her cousin Jimmy Martin to kill Lorenzen. Martin also testified that it was indeed Sherra who recruited him and Turner to murder her ex-husband. Martin also testified that it was Sherra who lured her ex-husband by saying that she has contacted someone to get some money and called an unsuspecting Lorenzen to the fields. When Lorenzen arrived there, and by the time he realized what a trouble he was getting into, he tried to escape. However, he was shot by them and killed. What's shocking is that this allegedly was not their first attempt at ruthlessly murdering Lorenzen. Turner and Martin had also made an attempt earlier in his house in Atlanta. They trespassed into the house with the intention of murdering him. However, when they reached there, they discovered a person sleeping on the couch. That was not Lorenzen, and so they dropped the idea and left the scene. Martin also stated that Turner got rid of the evidence by disposing it off in Walnut. In a closing argument, the defense attorney Perry said that this story was fiction and it was utter nonsense. He said that his story was not at all believable and that Martin and not Turner was in Memphis on the night of Lorenzen's murder. Deborah, Lorenzen's mother, said that there couldn't be any closure for her as she would never be able to see her son again. However, this did give her and her family some amount of satisfaction. What do you think about this tragic murder case? Is there any way in which this could have been prevented? Do let us know in the comments section below. If you found this video interesting and informative, don't forget to like and share it. Subscribe to our channel for more crime stories like this.